is the vision? Do you have a vision, or can they share a vision of the future of what's coming, with humanity being awakened to their presence and that their intentions, and what is it going to look like when we're integrated?
What's going to look like, one thing is clear, it's community based. This force of driving against one another and competing and money talk and time is money, all this nonsense going to, all the illusions going to fade away. Humans going to realize that who they are, they're going to remember their full capacity, their gifts, and they going to want to apply them for the highest good of all. I don't want a bigger house than yours. There's no point in that. The material, when you talk to people, hey, how you doing? What are you doing as a living? What kind of car do you drive? This is illusionary. It's all these illusions going just to fade, and we're going to look back like, how did we live so long in that kind of fog? It's going to amaze us. It's really to return our divine selves and remember and use the gift to create heaven on earth, to recreate the planet that we have, the paradise that we already have here. We have an amazing planet. We are amazing. We have potentials above and beyond. We are like walking gods. Just, walking gods and like a bunch of zombies sometimes, I'm just, sometimes I drive my car and I'm talking to myself, with my people, I'm like, what is that? It's like, we're like a bunch of zombies trying, go to work, pay bills. It's just, this is not life, this is not what we're meant to do.
And I think there's, at least it appears to me, there's more and more of us that want that vision, that want this community, that want to live free of the matrix, free of money, and equality.
Yes,
there's so many of us.
A community base for the highest good of all.
Yeah.
And to create, how we meant to. If you look back at people believe that back in Atlantis, for instance, or even Lemuria, the way civilization was based, they were using their full capacity. They were fully connected with the divine creator or higher source, living in harmony with one another. I feel like in the temple, the way they used their minds to even move objects and create things. Everybody was provided for. It was, of course, that project was very noble in divinity, but it failed for reasons. But the thing is, if you just look at those models, like in those days, it's a long time ago, but souls who were there and came back today, they remember that in the soul. They remember that, and more you read about that, Tara. More and more people wants to go back to that community base, to utilize everybody's gifts, natural gifts for the highest good of all. Bring together, monetary system, money. What is that? I never understood that. It never meant anything to me. It's like, okay, I got $20 in my purse. What does it mean? It means I can buy things in a store, but I don't understand the system behind it. To me, it's very foreign. I'm like Spock. I'm a child of two worlds, so it's highly illogical. It is.
Oh my goodness. So tell us, bring us up to date to now. Now, how are you moving in the world? How are you offering your wisdom or your services?
Yes, well, for one thing, I'm talking more. I'm starting to talk more publicly. I'm also doing channeling, and if I have a chance to do healing session on people. My goal is to not only be very public. I want people to know who I am, and I want them to know my people. And I know it's also their will, my people will, to channel through me, to share the wisdom and knowledge with people here, so they can apply this model, because my people did it, to transcend all of this, and they made it. If you look back on the planet where we come from, we don't have governments or royalty, things like that. It's based on a council of elders, and you go see a council for advice in the community, but everybody is based as group souls, and we live as group. So they talk to me always as we would like that, say that, trust us. It's we together. And I think more and more, I would love to be able to expose myself to people, to share not only my knowledge through them, but also to be in contact so they can feel my frequency. Because sometimes you help tremendously people, not just by talking, but just be in their presence.
Mm-hmm.
Because, we are energy, we are frequency. So right now, like, as we're talking, we are exchanging energies. And that speaks. That is creating something.
Mm-hmm.
And I know the frequency of this room is much higher. And I can feel it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it's like this, I feel like this waves, almost like heat waves, it's vibrating.
Mm-hmm.
I can feel it. We are creating a little community right now just by talking and sharing.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine what we can do.
That's part of, I think, our vision and purpose. It's kind of risen up through our work and in interviewing many people, is the importance of gathering us all together to do the heart work, because it's so powerful.
Yes.
And allow that to ripple out and invite people. And,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I look at just what you're doing, what you're creating. You go out there interviewing people, starseed hybrids, people who have contact, knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
You put that together, sharing with the world. What does it does? It does a ripple effect. Same thing, and you put emotions, energy in motion. You put knowledge in motion. Contact, people can see. And they're telling me, for those who, when you talk about being an hybrid, people will look at you. What do you look like? One first, they're going to want a physical reassurance. I always tell people, look at my bone structure, look at my hand. And my hands are very, very thin. I don't have much muscles. See how my thumb is? Mm-hmm. And I have moved, the blood is circulating, but when I wake up, my skin is very white, very pale. It's like cream, like almost like a creamy. I always tell, look at the way physically I look like and the way I'm built. And look up Arcturians, see what they look like. That's what they are. They're tall and lanky, they're all armed like teenagers, they're very slender. Mm-hmm. And the energy is very soothing too. When a group of Arcturians comes, it's very soothing, it's very nurturing. There's a healing there's an exchange taking place. Mm-hmm. And so it's all part of the experience of sharing. So more and more you're coming out like that, talking and sharing, so people can understand themselves too. Because how many people don't understand themselves? They know, I've always known. My grandmother told me something. When I was a kid, I felt things, but I didn't know who to relate to. I don't know who to talk to about that. I don't like people think I'm fit for a straight jacket, or something. Mm-hmm. But who do you talk to? So more and more people coming together as community to say, you know what, you're a star seed, so what you've been experiencing is normal because you remember, your soul remember, mm-hmm. And same thing with you, or you may be from the angelic realm, maybe you're an earth angel who came directly to answer the call for help, but that's where originally you come from. Well, you have a sense, deep down, but you're not going to verbalize it, you're not going to say it out loud. I know it, but, so when people come together to talk about it, hey, I'm an hybrid, how strong is that?
Mm-hmm. Right, it's so powerful, and I really respect you for coming forward, mm-hmm. because I know that it does take a certain amount of courage to say what you're saying and expose yourself, and you might receive judgment, but your existence is important. You're a bridge. You're making us not afraid.
Yes.
We're not afraid. And I feel like then the next step, once the awareness comes that, look, she's mostly Arcturian, and what a beautiful being she is.
Thank you.
And then maybe the next step is do you think it could be that the Arcturians actually manifest for the rest of us to experience them directly?
They say yes, we will come. Yes.
I look forward to that day.
Yeah, me, thank you.
Yes.
And they are too.
For your family.
Yes. And they are too, and that's why that's why they said that people like me, being an hybrid, highly hybrid, mm-hmm. and I'm proud of it,
yes.
is we are bridges. We're going to be able to say, There's no need to be afraid of. There's really no need. When you're fearless, you're free. And that's one thing Archangel Michael tells also to people, one of his messages, for people who relate more to the angels and archangels, which I'm very attached to too. Archangel Michael always says, when you're fearless, you're free. You really are. Because there's no need to be afraid.
Right.
You know, at this point of time, in the midst of this huge shift, only those of the light, only those who are come to assist are allowed to come and have contact with us. There's no need to be afraid anymore. There's really no need. We can release that.
So, are you saying that any negative entities do not have any more power? Is that what you mean?
They're losing their grip. Oh yes.
Mm-hmm.
And why? Again, the secret. When you vibrate at a higher level, you bring love and light. They have no match for that. They feed off our fears. They feed off our...
From fear to love.
Absolutely.
Key.
It really is.
Mm-hmm.